So the second type of access control list that we will see is the extended access list. What is the difference between the standard and the extended access list? You can be very granular about your extended access list. In the extended ACL, you can define the source and the destination, and also the protocol or the port numbers. Previously, the question said that the IP 1.2 must not be reachable with 3.2. But what if there was a server over here? What if I say there is a server in here and that server is giving me some services? And what happens is this one guy is totally blocked for this guy. Now what we'll do is we'll take a second example. The second example says that the question says here is the host 192.168.1.3, we'll take 1.3, must access the server 192.168.5.100, but only using HTTPS. HTTPS is very important. HTTP and HTTPS, there are two protocols for us to access the web browser: Hypertext Transfer Protocol and Hypertext Transfer Protocol secured version. You can say this uses SSL, Secure Socket Layer. Now, if I say I use a standard ACL, then this one person is totally blocked from the whole other network. If I take a PC over here, 1.2 cannot reach 3.2, but if there was a PC over here 3.3, he will not be able to access any other resource on the network. Now what I want to say is, I want to permit this one guy. I want to permit this one guy over here for this particular guy, but for one service only. See, there are services on this server. On this server, the HTTP and the HTTPS service is both working. So what you can do is you can simply test on this PC. You can simply go on 192.168.5.100. So if I see this kind of scenario, means my website is working. Where did I go? I went on the PC. On the web browser, I gave the IP address over here. Now the question says, this one person must not access this web server using HTTP, although HTTPS must be allowed. See, he says, but only using HTTP, HTTP must not be allowed. Rest all is permitted. Rest all is permitted. So how will we do that? Now an extended ACL is supposed to be created near to the source. You must create where the data origins over here. So what I will do is I will create an access list over here and I will block the data while it comes inside my router, so that I compare it over here. If he is blocked, he will be blocked over there. Instead of the data going there and being blocked, I will deny him here only. Let us go on router 1 and let us create an access list, extended ACL. Access dash list 101. Deny, here I will say deny TCP, because HTTP uses TCP port numbers. So TCP host 192.168.1.3 for the host 192.168.5.100 equals to the protocol 80. This is the syntax. So here I say access list extended, deny TCP protocol port numbers. You can say TCP if the source is this host, if the source is 1.3 and the destination is 5.100, and if the payload inside goes for HTTP service. So you will block this one. And what we will do is access list 101 permit IP any. Means permit anybody using TCP or UDP from any source to any destination. See, this pretty any looks like any, but the actual syntax for any is 0.0.0.0, 0.0.0.0, 0000. This one any means any source, any subnet mask. The second any over here means any destination, any subnet mask. Getting the point? So what we will do here is we created an access list with this sequence and we created a permit statement also. Now is the time to deploy this ACL. So my gigabit 0/0, what I will do is I will deploy it over here on my gigabit 0/0 while the data comes inside. So what will he say? Interface gigabit 0/0 IP access group 101 in. So whenever the packet comes inside, compare it with this ACL. Check whether the ACL permits or denies. I can say do show access list and it tells me that there is an extended access list and this is the host who is being denied and this is the other person who is being permitted. Now what will happen is if you want to see and show IP interface gigabit 0/0, sorry, show interface gigabit 0/0. Let me check. In here, it should tell us that there is an access list over here somewhere. Let me check. Inbound access list is 101. So the show IP interface gigabit 0 will tell us that there is an inbound or an outbound access list applied on this interface. Let us go ahead and test it. First, this guy is blocked. So can I go on the web browser 192.168.5.100? If I go earlier, I was checking and it was permitting me. So now the request is going to be timed out. But what if I say HTTPS over here? HTTPS, I added an S over here, means the web browser will take the port number 443. So although this guy is not allowed, let us see, is this person allowed? Let us go on the neighboring device and say 192.168.5.100. This guy uses HTTP and he is permitted. But if I say this guy 192.168.5.100, for him HTTP is not going to be allowed. But if he says I want to use port number 443, see, request times out. But if I say HTTPS, immediately my data is allowed to go there. So this is how we create an access control list of an extended type and we apply an ACL on an interface.